Somewhere beneath the surface of everything we know, behind the atoms of matter, the languages of myth, and the silence between stars, lies a design. Not a design etched in blueprints of steel and stone, but one woven into the geometry of nature itself. Why does life follow patterns? Why do spirals echo from galaxies to seashells? Why does the golden ratio whisper through the veins of leaves and the arms of hurricanes? Is this coincidence or code? For centuries, mystics and scientists have walked parallel paths, each speaking different tongues, but touching the same sacred threads. The Fibonacci sequence, the flower of life, the resonance of planetary orbits, ancient temples aligned with stars, monoliths echoing lunar cycles, even our DNA, a helix shaped by unseen harmonics. Could it be that our universe is not random chaos, but intelligent design? A blueprint hidden in plain sight? A fingerprint of some celestial architect, whose canvas is space-time and whose language is resonance, geometry, and light? What if everything we've ever called nature was a message waiting to be decoded? Before telescopes, before satellites, before even written language, humanity looked up, not as scientists, but as seekers. The sky was a scroll, the stars, symbols, and the earth, a canvas to mirror the heavens. Why did the ancients build stone structures aligned so precisely with celestial movements? From the Great Pyramids of Giza to Stonehenge, from Angkor Wat to the Nazca Lines, they echo constellations, solstices, equinoxes. These were not random rocks. They were memories, maps, messages encoded in stone. Göbekli Tepe, 12,000 years old, depicts animal constellations long before Babylon. The Orion alignment in Egypt mirrors the belt of stars with mathematical precision. And in Peru, the giant hummingbird etched into the earth aligns with star cycles few even notice today. Who taught them? Why the obsession with Orion, Sirius, the Pleiades? Did ancient builders simply admire the stars? Or were they mapping a route for return? What if these megaliths were not just monuments, but markers, anchored across continents, designed to be seen from above, from space? Not ruins of forgotten cultures, but coordinates for something or someone. The universe is not still. It hums, it breathes, it pulses, not with sound, but with frequency. Not with rhythm, but with structure. Every atom vibrates. Every star sings. Every black hole sends out ripples, waves of gravity, echoing through the fabric of space-time. Scientists call it the gravitational wave background, a constant whisper of creation, a heartbeat of cosmic proportions. But what if it's more than just noise? From quantum fields to the Schumann resonance of Earth, from the oscillations of DNA to the vibrational healing in ancient cultures, a pattern emerges. Frequency is not just a result of existence. It may be the foundation of reality. What we see as solid is vibration slowed down. What we call time is a rhythm we measure. And what we feel as consciousness may be attunement to a larger wave. Could the universe be alive? Not in the way we define life, but as a system that moves, feels, remembers, and pulses with meaning. And if so, are we listening? Long before telescopes, before satellites, before mathematics mapped the heavens, our ancestors looked up and remembered. But what were they remembering? From Egypt's Duat to the Mayan Popol Vuh, from the Dogon star lore to Vedic hymns of cosmic birth, a strange pattern persists. These myths, scattered across geography, time, and language, speak of the stars as teachers, of beings descending from light, of knowledge gifted, then lost. Are these simply stories, or echoes of a memory too vast to be stored in brain alone? Carl Jung called it the collective unconscious. But what if it's older than humanity? Like DNA storing biological history, could culture store cosmic history? Could myth be memory? Across continents, gods arrive from the skies. They craft life, speak in tones of energy, and promise to return. The Hopi tell of sky clans. The Sumerians carved Anunnaki into stone. Aboriginals sing of Dreamtime star people. These are not mere metaphors. They are codes, etched in art, sung in ritual, passed in lineage, describing something real, but wrapped in symbols. And perhaps the most dangerous truth is that we've stopped listening. In the heart of every structure, from the pyramids of Giza to the temples of Angkor, lies a rhythm, a pulse, a resonance. These are not mere buildings. They are instruments, tuned to the earth, to the stars, to consciousness itself. Why do ancient sites resonate at 432 hertz? Why do mandalas, yantras, and crop circles repeat the same fractal forms? Because the universe speaks in geometry, and reality vibrates with frequency. Sacred geometry isn't superstition. It's the skeleton of the cosmos, the flower of life, the golden ratio, Fibonacci spirals in galaxies, in shells, in DNA. Cymatics reveals this truth. When sound moves through matter, it shapes it. Sand forms mandalas, water forms lattice, stone remembers vibration. Civilizations across time, from Egypt to Tibet to Peru, encoded harmonic laws into architecture. Their temples sing, their chambers resonate, their alignments map the heavens. But to what end? Were these structures gateways? Did they tune human minds to higher frequencies? Or transmit signals across time, like quartz crystals humming beneath stone? We build skyscrapers. They built resonators. Scattered across the globe lie enigmas carved in stone. Monoliths no modern machine could replicate. Seamless joints, laser-precise cuts, megaliths weighing hundreds of tons. Who built them, and how? At Pumapunku, stones are carved with 90-degree angles and machine-like symmetry, yet it predates the wheel. At Baalbek, in Lebanon, a single stone slab weighs over 1,000 tons and was moved, somehow. Were these feats of human ingenuity lost to time, or do they hint at an outside influence? Legends speak of sky gods, star visitors, and luminous beings who taught humans the arts of metal, math, and medicine. In Sumer, Egypt, Mesoamerica, the stories converge. Cuneiform tablets, hieroglyphs, petroglyphs, all depict figures descending from the heavens. Modern theorists call them ancient astronauts. Skeptics call it mythology. But in recent decades, new anomalies have emerged. Microscopic gears found in 100,000-year-old rock, batteries dated to ancient Mesopotamia, optical lenses from Greek ruins, mercury pools beneath Mayan temples. Coincidence, misinterpretation, or suppressed evidence of a technological prehistory? If we admit the possibility that our timeline is incomplete, then Earth may have hosted, or been visited by, intelligences far beyond our understanding. Maybe the alien is not out there. Maybe it's a forgotten version of us. What if consciousness isn't confined to the brain? What if it's a quantum field, entangled across time, space, and dimension? Some of the world's top physicists, Penrose, Hameroff, propose that the mind arises not from neurons alone, but from quantum processes within microtubules, the very structure inside our brain's neurons. This implies something staggering, that thought itself may be a resonance within the quantum fabric of reality. If so, then ancient structures, pyramids, stone circles, sacred chambers, might not be mere monuments, but resonance devices, harmonizing with quantum fields, activating levels of awareness beyond the ordinary. Throughout myth and memory, humanity speaks of beings of light, of cosmic engineers who shaped not only planets, but the minds that could perceive them. Were they gods, aliens, or just earlier versions of us, reaching across dimensions to leave breadcrumbs of memory? If we are entangled, not only with each other, but with the source of consciousness itself, then intelligence may not be localized, but networked, woven through the very structure of the cosmos. Perhaps the true architects are not out there building planets, but in here, seeding minds. We are not simply discovering the universe, we are remembering it. What if consciousness is not an isolated phenomenon, but a signal, broadcasted, received, resonated across the vast expanse of space-time? For centuries, we've treated consciousness as something trapped inside the skull, locked within neural pathways. But now, a new hypothesis is emerging, one that echoes from ancient mysticism to modern quantum theory, that consciousness is a field, a frequency, a ripple, not bound to the body, but tuned like a cosmic receiver. Across the globe, shamans speak of the Great Spirit, monks refer to the ocean of mind, and scientists now propose panpsychism, the idea that consciousness pervades all matter, and we are simply tuning in. Experiments in telepathy, near-death experiences, quantum entanglement, they hint that our minds might not just generate thoughts, but also intercept something greater, a universal broadcast. Could consciousness itself be the language the universe uses to speak to itself? From the rhythmic pulses of pulsars, to the patterned dreams of lucid dreamers, to the way trees communicate underground, the question grows louder. Are we part of a galactic conversation we've only just begun to understand? If so, then tuning in is not just meditation, it's participation. To listen, to align, to awaken, to realize that thought is not just personal, but planetary. There are places in the universe where time folds, where space bends, where the laws of reality fracture. Wormholes, theoretical bridges between distant points in space-time, have long captured the imagination of scientists and mystics alike. A tunnel through dimensions, a shortcut through the cosmic fabric, a possibility not just of travel, but of communication. But what if wormholes are not just physical? What if dreams, vivid, lucid, often surreal, are windows into these dimensional folds? Across cultures, dreams have been seen as portals to the ancestors, to parallel lives, to the minds of gods. In shamanic rituals, lucid dreamers, and near-death accounts, people often describe travel through tunnels of light, into realms beyond physics, through symbols that defy language. Modern physics offers startling overlaps. Quantum non-locality, the many worlds interpretation, entangled particles across galaxies. Could these suggest that dimensions bleed into one another through gateways, and that human consciousness might be the key. Ancient sites aligned with stars, sacred caves with spirals and gates etched in stone. They weren't just symbolic. They may have been maps, coordinates for crossing. If dreams are data from other realities, and wormholes are not only spatial but mental, then perhaps the real question is, how do we listen? How do we prepare the mind for interdimensional contact? Across open fields, patterns emerge in silence. Overnight, in the hush of rural plains, the crops bow into perfect geometry, circles within circles, fractals echoing the mathematics of nature. Are these merely the work of artists? Or are we witnessing a form of communication, one not meant for speech but for recognition? Crop circles have long stirred controversy, but some, those that defy explanation, carry a precision too profound to ignore. Fibonacci spirals, binary code, Mandelbrot sets. Their symbols resonate across disciplines: mathematics, sacred geometry, quantum symmetry. What if these designs are a language, transmitted not through sound, but through resonance? Across time, our ancestors spoke in symbol and glyph, a visual grammar to store memory, myth, and meaning. The Sumerians carved stars. The Egyptians drew the eye. The Mayans etched calendars that tracked not just time, but cycles of consciousness. Perhaps crop circles are the next glyphs, etched not in stone, but in Earth's living canvas. And what if those who send them are not only from beyond this planet, but beyond this dimension? Could these formations be harmonic messages, tuning forks for planetary awakening? Reminders that language can exist without words, that meaning can be felt before it is understood. In a world addicted to noise, these silent geometries may be the loudest signal we've received yet. In ancient scrolls and prophecies, in tribal songs and monolith alignments, there has always been one promise: contact. Not a spectacle of fire and ships, but a convergence of timing, consciousness, and readiness. Across the globe, humans report a pattern, a silent knowing. Lights that move against the stars, voices heard in dreams, symbols shared by strangers thousands of miles apart. It's as if a countdown is embedded in the soul of humanity. Governments deny, science hesitates, but the skies, they whisper, echoes in the radar, unidentified trajectories, and most haunting of all, shared inner experiences. What if the final contact won't be on a landing strip, but in our collective psyche? What if we are being tuned, softly, slowly, toward resonance? Some believe we've already been contacted, through symbols, music, frequency, geometry, through the evolution of our dreams. Perhaps contact is not a singular event, but a distributed awakening across minds. No government can control it. No institution can regulate it, because it's happening within. Contact not as arrival, but as remembrance. Not an invasion, but a return. We began this journey with questions about life, intelligence, the cosmos, and we end not with answers, but with a new map, not one drawn in ink and lines, but in vibration, memory, resonance. A map where the ancient and the future are neighbors, where myth holds data and ruins speak in frequencies, where the language of geometry, of dreams, of stars, is no longer metaphor, but instruction. We used to believe we were isolated on a pale blue dot. Now, we suspect we are part of a symphony, composed across light years, played through DNA, architecture, and consciousness. We once mapped reality by the physical, by what we could touch, measure, dissect. But now we glimpse something else, a network, a script, a design both outside and inside us. Perhaps the architects are not out there but encoded within us. Perhaps the stars have always spoken, and only now we begin to remember the language. And so we draw a new map, one that includes the unseen, one that honors the dream, one that allows intelligence to wear many masks: planet, plant, code, light, mind, void. A map not of control, but of communion. A map not of separation, but of meaning. And as we step forward into this larger reality, we do not leave the old world behind. We simply awaken within it.